One of the greatest stresses that an entrepreneur faces, when we say we're overwhelmed, it is because we have to remember things. Do you know how painfully hard it is to remember things? Do you know how stressful it is to have to remember things? Do you know how much easier your life will be when you just start to write them down somewhere and know that they can empty your mind, but they won't be forgotten?
This is The Fighting Entrepreneur, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurs looking to change the world. Learn how to start, build, and scale a business in today's highly competitive business environment. Here's your host, The Fighting Entrepreneur, Anik Singal.
What is up, you crazy fighting entrepreneurs? This is your host for The Fighting Entrepreneur podcast. Yours truly, Anik Singal. That's right, you can hear the crowd cheering. All right. We hear so much in social media, hustle, 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 work hard, work hard, work hard, hustle, 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 hustle. And I find a lot of it to be BS now. Actually, I was a big proponent, a big believer of hustle for the longest time. And I'm kind of starting to learn now that yes, you got to hustle, right? Like I work hard, I will always work hard, I will always hustle. But people are really starting to misunderstand the meaning of hustle. So I wanted to talk about that today because hustle doesn't mean that you just aimlessly work. If you can be productive, then you can actually work half as hard and still hustle. But you don't have to work really hard. You can hustle without having to work hard. How's that? Okay, so that's by becoming more productive. However, having said that, I got to take a commercial break. Lurn, come on, are you part of Lurn Nation? You got to get into Lurn Nation. This is an entrepreneurial community. It's free to join. We're still in alpha. We're not even beta yet, but we got over 200,000 members. You want to join us? We got free courses. We got courses about traffic generation, conversion, business models. We got people like Robert Kiyosaki, Les Brown, Kevin Harrington, Damon John, all who've published courses in our platform, and many, 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 many others. We got courses about chat bots. We got courses about Facebook ads, about YouTube ads. We got conversion courses. We got email courses. We got it all. Go to lurn.com/register. That again is lurn.com/register. Do it now. Seriously, it's free. Do it before one day it isn't free. And then you kick yourself for being lazy. Don't be lazy. All right, number one, task. Become task-oriented. Tasks, okay? You know what I love? Okay, so right now, if you're listening, you can't see, but if you're watching, you can. You see this? I like to write things, and then this is the best feeling in the world when you just go whoosh, cross. You just cross things off. It's the most awesome feeling. It creates momentum. Makes you feel like you did something, right? So this is the olden days where you'd have a piece of paper and you'd list out a bunch of things and then you cross them out as you did them. But we've evolved now. See, if I start to do that, my list of things that I have to do just goes freaking bananas. And the problem is we can't really understand how to categorize from important versus urgent because everything starts to just mesh in. And we have 32 tasks and we don't know which task we should be doing first. So Good to Great, was it? Or no, sorry, it was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He presents an amazing chart and a way of decision making to what tasks you want. So I really recommend you read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But today, let me at least share this with you. I have an online virtual task system so that I have an app and then I can do it online and it saves my butt. It organizes my life. One of the greatest stresses that an entrepreneur faces, when we say we're overwhelmed, it is because we have to remember things. Do you know how painfully hard it is to remember things? Do you know how stressful it is to have to remember things? Do you know how much easier your life will be when you just start to write them down somewhere and know that they can empty your mind, but they won't be forgotten? So that's why I use an online task system. Personally, I use something called Asana. Now, there are a gajillion different awesome tools. Task tools are a dime a dozen. We use Asana because we have a big team here at Lurn, so we can all share tasks and do all that crazy fancy stuff. There's things like Trello, there's Basecamp, there's so many. Seriously, there's so many task apps. You can find whichever one you like the most. If you're using it only for yourself, many of them are free. You don't even have to pay anything when it's just one user. So I use Asana. So what I do is every time I think of something, every time something decides it needs to get done, every time my team member needs something, they dump it into Asana, they put a deadline, a due date on it, they put their notes in there, they put the files in there, they put everything they need. We can even categorize things by how important, how urgent they are, and they go into my system, and that literally allows me to categorize and dictate my day. And now I don't have to remember anything. Literally, like for right now, I'm filming this podcast, and as soon as I finish this podcast, I'm just going to move over and look at my Asana and be like, what's next? What do I need to address now? And I have a list of things that have to get done today, and my day won't be over until they're done. And if I finish early, that's awesome. Then my day is over. So one of the best ways to get yourself more productive is to get yourself task-oriented. I've loved it. It's changed my life. I think it'll change yours as well. And use a online and a app-driven platform to do it. Find one. I use Asana. You're welcome to as well. I think if you do it just for yourself, it's free. I think up to 3 users, it's free. All right. And on that same note, use Google Calendar. That's not actually one of my 5. It just kind of came to me right now. But please start scheduling your day. I do it, and it's awesome. I'll talk more about that when I go over tip number 5. But second way to get yourself instantly more productive is War Room. What the heck am I talking about there? No, I don't want you to start kicking people in a room, but kind of. See, what I do when we need to make brute progress, we need to make massive progress of exponential levels. I will literally call for everybody to be in one room. Like if there's 4 or 5 people working on a project, I'll call everybody to be in a room, close the door, and say for the next 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, we declare war. We're on a war room. Everyone just plow through this one thing. Everyone focus all your energies and all of your brilliance on this one thing. So, and if I don't need anyone else, let's say it's just me. Like coming up this weekend on Saturday, I'm declaring war room, and it's just me. It's war room with myself. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally deploy tip number 3 that's coming up in a second. I'm going to relocate myself to a different situation, and I'm going to close doors, and I'm going to say no tasks, no nothing. I am fully on this one thing, and I'm going to make massive progress through thanks to what we're going to learn in number 4, tip number 4. So war rooms are where you take a dedicated space, you put everybody that needs to be involved in that project, and you make them work on everything at the same time in one place with no other distractions. It is amazing. Things that could take you 2 weeks to do, like literally in this company, things that would maybe take us 2 to 3 weeks to do, we've done in a day. A day. So when it's appropriate, now we don't declare war rooms all the time, but when it's appropriate, when something needs it, we declare war room, and bam, we see massive progress very rapidly. Tip number 3 for making yourself instantly more productive, move. New location. Okay, listen, so when I'm in my office, right, I have a certain routine, I have certain distractions, I have certain things. People know I'm there. So sometimes when I really need to have massive movement on a particular task, I really need to be productive, I will just go to a different location. I will maybe work from my home office. I'll go to the library. That's literally the only reason I go to libraries. I don't know why anyone would go to the library, but I go. I go to find a quiet spot, and no one would ever think to find me in a library, except I just revealed it now, so people will now know. But I've done crazy stuff. Listen, the craziest one I've done is I've been in my car, and I drove to the top floor of a parking lot of a mall. There's like no one there, right? Especially like halfway through the day. And I was in my car, and I needed to do some audio recording, some brainstorming, and that was it. I sat in my car, but I was in this it was just a new location. And I didn't actually do that on purpose. It happened to be I was actually at the mall. Something came up and needed to be done, and I was like, where do I go? And I was there, so I did it. And so I've done crazy stuff. I've gone to the beach and gotten a room overlooking the ocean to write a book. I've even in our office now. We have a 26,000 square foot amazing, brilliant Lurn Center here. By the way, you should come visit us in Maryland. It's a beautiful place. Sometimes I'll just literally go into a different room. I'll go grab my stuff and walk into the video studio. No one will know I'm there, or I'll go into the podcast room, or I'll go into the opposite side where there's empty offices that no one even knows, and I'll open one of those and just go into a new office, a different office. The thing is, I'll remove myself from my usual environment and uproot and put into a new environment, because I'm sending my mind a subconscious trigger that this is different. We are here for a reason. So, because see, when you're in a different location, your mind's constantly thinking at a subconscious level, why am I here when I have an office literally down the hall? Like, why am I here? Oh yeah, I'm here because I got to focus on this thing. So it gets you more productive because it consistently, subconsciously reminds you why you are where you are. So it's a little hack there. It's a little productivity hack. Number 4, I call it zone time. This is powerful stuff. Listen, stop multitasking. If you want to be more productive, allow your mind to enter into a particular zone and stay there for a period of time, because I think zone time is like a car going downhill. Okay, so imagine a car at the top of a hill, and it takes a lot. You gotta push it because it won't move, right? The car's broken, so it's in neutral. So you gotta push it. And it takes like 4 or 5 people, and it starts to move. And then once the car starts to move, just one person can keep pushing it because you got momentum now. And then as soon as the hill hits and it starts to go downhill, now even that one person doesn't need to push it. The car just starts to move, and it gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, all on its own. But if the car were to now stop, you'd have to start the whole damn process all over again. You'd have to start pushing, and then it would just move a little bit, and then, you'd need one person. So a lot of us, that's what we do when we multitask. We have this weird hill. It just goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So then we have to we get a car, it just starts to get fast, and then it bottoms out, and then we have to push it up the hill, and then it just gets to start fast, and then it bottoms out. So what I want you to do is I want you to enter zone time. Zone time, the best way to describe zone time is if you've ever been doing something, and then you look at the time, and it's like, whoa, what? 2 hours, 3 hours. We get that when we're watching a movie, when we're playing video games. Video games is probably like the number one place where you play, and all of a sudden you realize 4 hours later. You get zone time when you're working on something that you love to do. You get zone time when you're running. Things that allow you to really be in the zone, no pun intended. That's when you're going to get the best work done. And it has been scientifically proven that you can get about double the amount of things done, especially when it comes to creativity-involved things done, when you're in your zone time than when you're not. So when you hit zone times, allow your body to stay there. So give yourself, lately, I've compartmentalized my days where I'm not doing 6 things in one day. I'm not having a meeting about one thing and then bouncing into a meeting about another thing and then bouncing off to write copy and then doing video. No, I have video days. Like right now, this is a video day where I'm filming this podcast, a couple of other episodes, some other videos. But that's what I'm thinking about. I got myself in the zone for videos and content filming. I'm not going to turn around now and go home and write copy. I'm not. That's going to be tomorrow. And then tomorrow I will be in the copy zone and I'll write copy. So allow yourself zone time. And last but not least, listen, probably the biggest thing I did to increase my productivity was about a little over a year ago, I got an administrative assistant. Now, not everybody has the ability to do this, right? So I got literally an executive assistant. Not everyone can afford one, especially a good one, but then you can get virtual assistants. You go to a site like onlinejobs.ph. Go to onlinejobs.ph, and you can grab an amazing executive assistant or virtual assistant that's not expensive at all. And all of these crazy little boring tasks, right, that get in the way of your zone time, let someone else who is better than you, more organized than you, who actually will get those tasks done better than you, let them do it. So I've got my administrative assistant who makes sure that my executive assistant, who makes sure my calendar is completely clean. She monitors my calendar. She makes sure that I have breaks. She makes sure that I have plenty of time to get in my zone. She makes sure that I'm taking my green juice, get my meds in, get my vitamins in. She makes sure my doctor's appointments are handled. She makes sure, appointments with my tax guys, my finance guys, all these things are handled so that I'm not thinking about them throughout the day. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about the things that I'm in the zone about. I'm thinking about the things that I'm the most lethal at, and I'm being productive. So whether you can afford an actual full-time executive assistant or not, you can definitely at least get a few hours of a virtual assistant. I highly encourage you to look into it. There's sites like guru.com, upwork.com is one of my favorites. You can get people to charge you by hour. You don't have to pay them full-time costs. So Upwork, upwork.com. You can find some amazing administrative assistants there. Onlinejobs.ph, that'll help you get someone who works from the Philippines, but they'll work your hours, US. They're far, far less expensive. And you don't have to hire them full-time. Even in 5 to 10 hours a week would free up a lot of your brain. Remember, it's not just about the hours you free up. It's about the mind space you free up. It's about the zone time you free up. That's lethal time. That's when you can be the most productive more than anybody else you know. All right? So there you go. Those are the productivity hacks. That's what we do. That's what I do. I do these, every single one of these, I do them, and they have helped make my life less stressful, 10 times more productive, and just I make more money because of it. All right? So there you go, you fighting entrepreneurs. Remember, go make sure you have your free account at Lurn Nation. And if you do, make sure you log into Lurn Nation, enroll in a course, finish the course. Always keep upping your skill set in your skill level. Come on, Lurn Nation. As a community, as a community, we are going to conquer our dreams together. So get over there, lurn.com/register. That's LURN.com/register. And if you already have a membership, log in now. Make sure you are finishing the courses you're enrolling in, and make sure you're supporting other Lurn Nation members as they fight for their dreams. And make sure you're always fighting for your dreams. This is Anik Singal. It's been an awesome, awesome honor being here with you today. Until next time, I'll see you on the next podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.